What's going on, my friends and family on YouTube? Thank you guys for coming back. So this is the second vlog now, within 2 days. So I wouldn't say that this is a possible new streak, but it's better than the 2-month break that I left you guys on. So the last vlogger yesterday, we were talking about the 2 dances that kind of started the homecoming tour, and now we're going to fast forward and talk about the 2 dances that were the finale to the tour. But before we jump into that, we opened up the door for the Q&As. Now, for you guys that have been part of my YouTube family and have participated in the Q&As in the past, I'm looking for you guys in the comments here. But for anyone new to the channel that has either stumbled across it or is a student who follows our YouTube page, anything. We open up a Q&A every Monday, or we used to do it every Monday when I was vlogging weekly. But I'm opening up a Q&A now where you guys can, ask any questions. It could be DJ related. It could be my thoughts on, just business in general. It could be marriage advice. But anything. If it's a Q&A, open Q&A, no holds barred. Ask whatever you want. So I do this every week. I'm going to try to get back to doing it every week. But in less than a week now, it's going to be my mom's birthday. And last year, the birthday for my mom was tough because that's when we found out that she had to have, a valve replaced on her heart. And it was a bad time. I mean, we had that. We lost a family pet literally the day my mom came out of surgery. So it was a rough time. October's always just been a rough time for our family. And so I thought about, with her birthday coming up, she's never participated in the YouTube channel at all. I thought that it would kind of be cool for you guys to ask her questions, kind of give her a Q&A based around me. And I think there's certain things that, I know she's proud of me for what I've done and what I've accomplished. But it's one of those things like, I know, but it's not something we really ever really openly talk about. Like I was like, hey Mom, how proud are you of me? So if you guys have questions, I saw 2 of you guys leave comments or questions for her that are phenomenal. I kind of want to build that where we bring you more into our family, not just the DJ side of it. And I know looking back, a couple years from now, I think, hearing my mom say some of those things, some of the responses will mean the world to me. And if you guys have great questions, I really would love you guys to ask those questions so I can hear what her responses would be. And I think if this goes well, I think we'll definitely do it for my dad as well. So we'll do that, and I think it'll be really cool. And at least not for you guys, it'll be great for me. So going into the 2 kind of finale big dances, this might be a long vlog, so if you guys need to get a drink, go get one now. So going into our biggest school, we do pretty much everything for the school turnkey. And that's one of our biggest things is, I never wanted to be a one-trick pony. But if we can handle the negotiations between all the different vendors, whether it's pipe and drape, whether it's a casino company or a party tent company or whatever, if we can manage all those contracts and connections and take some of that stuff off the teachers' plates, they love it because they don't have to deal with it. Look, teachers they're worked and overworked, already, and having to manage a dance and having to go and chase down vendors and get best pricing, this, that, and the other. It's a pain for them, and if we're able to do all that for them, it just makes us more, what's the word I'm looking for? It makes us more valuable to the client, and that's what's really always been important, to be valuable to the client. So for this one school, we did everything. So it starts out, literally, it's a full week of just stuff going on. Monday, we go ahead and we start confirming all the reservations for stuff that we have to do. And Tuesday is the day that I spend all day on the road. So Tuesday morning we get up, or I get up, and I have to make pretty much two stops, but they're the polar opposite ends of the Virginia for us. So the first one, we go all the way down to Richmond, which is about a 2.5 hour, 3 hour drive, especially with traffic. And even worse because I'm towing a trailer, so fuel mileage is down the drain. So I go all the way down to Richmond to go pick up our chain motors. I think we picked up some pipe and drape. But yeah, we go all the way down there and pick up those items. Then we got to turn around and then haul butt 4 hours up into Maryland to go to Four Wall Entertainment. If you guys don't know who Four Wall is, they are an enormous production company, and you guys definitely look at their website. It's just insane. They got warehouses there. They got distributing companies in Vegas, I think Texas, New York, Maryland / DC. I mean, they're all over the place. I mean, this is the big boys. And when I went into their warehouse to go pick up the rentals, because we ended up, I originally had ordered that 30-foot circle of Global Truss, and what happened was it was back ordered, and it was just taking too long. When I started thinking about it, I was like, you know what? Let me call around and see what I could rent it for versus owning it. And it turns out, you know, we only had really 2 events that we were going to use it for, and it's just number-wise, it was so much easier and cost-efficient to just rent instead of buying. Like, you know, I've always been a person that likes to buy, but the bigger we've gotten in some of these bigger ticket items, like the projectors and the truss circles, stuff that we're not going to be using, you know, every month or even every 2 or 3 months, it just doesn't make sense to buy it. So we ended up renting the 30-foot circle of truss, and we canceled our order to purchase it. So we go to Four Wall, we pick up 30-foot circle, and we're only using a half circle. I called this setup my Liberty setup because to me it looked like the crown on the Statue of Liberty. How you have the crown and you have these points of the crown that come out. So we ended up using a half circle. That half circle hung over the front of the stage. And then we had these points that went out into the crowd, and on the tips of them we had moving head fixtures, as well as just wash lighting and UV lighting and so forth. And I think the truss was Tomcat, and this is my first experience with bolt together truss. Everything else has been the conical connectors with Global Truss, and I'm sure with anything, you know, the more you use it, the more you figure out certain ways to make it faster. But I'll tell you what, first time using bolt truss, I hated it. It was such a pain in the butt to thread the bolts in, get the nuts on, get a wrench and a socket in there, tighten them down. Like, I'm sure that people that do it more frequently, you know, have like a battery-powered impact gun, and they have their tricks to do it fast, but it was a pain in the butt. It really was. They also talked us into, we were trying to rent a couple different fixtures. We were trying to get Mac 101s, and it just didn't work out. They didn't have enough available in inventory. But they had a bunch of these, the new 6-par 200s from Relation. And these are the par cans. I think they're 10 watts, and I think there's probably 12 LED diodes in there. But they're red, green, blue, white, amber, and UV. And these lights were freaking awesome. I fell in love with them. I hate the price tag. I don't think we'll be buying any anytime soon. But to rent them for $30 a piece versus buying them at, I think, $500 a piece, I think we'll definitely be using these more down the road. But these lights were just, it's so nice to have UV in a par can. You know, for so long, I've always had to use the dedicated UV fixtures. And to be able to have them in a par can is phenomenal. I loved it. So we get 30-foot half circle. We get, I think it was 16 of the 6-par 200s. I head back with the trailer loaded of all the truss. We also got some single or straight sections of truss and junction blocks to be able to build this setup. And I'll post some photos here, and I'll put them in randomly throughout the video. So we get all this stuff. We go back, and literally Wednesday we get 10 tanks of CO2 delivered to the school. Wednesday we also get the scissor lift dropped off to the school because I do not like using the personnel lifts. I don't feel comfortable in those. I feel better in a scissor lift, and our riggers do too. And I'd rather pay that extra money to get a scissor lift. And honestly, that's nothing. I don't like rental costs for really anything because the scissor lift rental is $1,000. Like it's insane. I need to get I pretty much I can't talk, guys. I'm tired. I'm exhausted again. If we can start doing more of these big gigs consistently, I'm pretty sure that I can get better pricing on a lot of this stuff. But unfortunately, homecomings and proms are so far apart, and we don't always have these massive dances like this. So we don't have any, ins with companies to get stuff dirt cheap. At least with equipment for, like scissor lifts or generators. Lighting and everything is a different story. So now we get all this stuff. So that Tuesday I spend all day running around. Wednesday we get all the deliveries to the school, and I think it's Thursday we go in and we do our lunch jam where we play some music, we give away some tickets, we just get the students excited about the dance. And this dance, this dance is the biggest in the state. I can almost put money on that there's no one else in the state of Virginia that touches us in the size of school dances as to what we do for this school. And so Thursday night, we come back in afterwards and we get all the rigging done. We get the truss put together, which was a nightmare again. We get the truss assembled, put together, and we just get the rig together and in the air. And we put it up in the air. We tie all the cables off on their the cable picks. I can't talk, guys. I'm so tired. I'm so sorry. But we get everything pretty much put together. We don't hang any lights. We run all the electrical for the distro, what's going to be up there. We run all the cables for the motor controls and everything. And then we put it all up in the air and we leave. And that took us probably 4 or 5 hours. We couldn't get in till late because they had, I think they had a volleyball game or something going on and they had practices. So we were kind of at their mercy when it came to timing of everything. And I think next year we're just going to try to be a little more proactive with scheduling this stuff as far out ahead of time as possible. So any of the issues like the timing this year, we might be able to work around a little bit better. So Friday we come back in after school, after the homecoming, and we start to hang all the lights, do all the sound, get the video screens together. One of the things my goals are to, when we do these setups days in advance, is to get the setup turnkey to where I could come back in, not have to bring a full crew, come back in with 1 or 2 guys, and literally for their pep rally, be able to just blow the socks off the kids with the lighting and the sound for the pep rally, and to really just push those ticket sales over that final hump. Because ticket sales is the key that drives these big school dances for us. So that's one of the goals I would like to start doing is working towards that. So Friday night we go in, like I said, we get the video screens and everything together. Stuff like the photo booth, stuff like the pipe and drape, stuff like the lounge furniture. We leave in the trailer, and we leave that for the crew on Saturday when they come in fresh, and not just exhausted on a Friday evening. They come in fresh Saturday morning. They carry in all that lounge furniture. They unwrap it and everything. They do all like the heavy, awkward, large items, and they get those all in and put together. So Saturday we come in. We finish up all the minor details. We put the staging together. We did a nice, cool, like little catwalk. We always do catwalks, but we kind of did a catwalk where it came out and then it branched out into like kind of like a T. So we did that, and we ended up putting the confetti cannons right there on the T, which is nice because it got the confetti cannons out probably 16, 20 feet into the crowd. We faced them, vertical, because normally we kind of put them at an angle, and what happens is the confetti blows out, and like a huge chunk of confetti kind of pukes out over the tip and is laying on the floor in front of the stage. Now, when we've tilted them up vertically, it's 10 times better. And we used to use the confetti from Chauvet. And if you guys don't know, we have the Chauvet confetti cannons. I don't know the actual name of the product, but they're the only confetti cannons that Chauvet sells. They're a blower-based confetti cannon versus a CO2. If you guys don't know what it is, CO2 is compressed air, which you push a button, the valve opens, and blows out all the CO2, which then pushes the confetti out of the machine. This one has a blower in it, where it has a fan on the bottom that spins and puts air and it blows it out. Kind of like a leaf blower almost. So we use that versus the CO2 just because it was our first introduction into confetti cannons. We didn't know how it was going to work. They were a great price. So maybe down the road we might look into doing CO2 cannons since we already have CO2 on site for most of our stuff now. But anyhow, so we put them so they're facing vertical, and we stopped using the Chauvet brand confetti. Not that there's anything wrong with it. Storm from the Chauvet Show Express group, you guys may know him. He hooked me up with Joey, who owns Confetti Cannons Direct. Let me just double check. I believe that's the ConfettiCannonDirect.com. But so he hooked me up with Joey over there, and they have what they call turbo confetti, and it's a little bit of a longer rectangle style confetti. But what happens is when it blows into the air, I mean, it just gets momentum spinning, and the float time is literally 2 to 3 minutes longer than the Chauvet one. The Chauvet one kind of goes up, flickers, and comes down. This one, like, it's literally like they have little motors in the confetti. Like, they stay, the hang time is incredible. And I think they actually go higher than the Chauvet ones do. And I can tell you what, I'll show you the video clip here, that when we were taking down the chain motors and everything, there was so much confetti on the rafters still from the event. So I'm sure that'll be up there till next year when we go back up there. And I'm sure, during the pep rallies or randomly during, a lot of stuff going on in the gym, some confetti might sprinkle down. But yeah, their confetti, their turbo confetti is awesome. The other thing was that this particular week for this dance was the weekend that the East Coast was supposed to get hit with this hurricane that was coming. Fortunately, the hurricane went the other direction, but the entire week it was just like nail biting because there's a lot of money at risk now at this point, because at this point our entire balance was due. We'd always work with the school if we needed to, but there's a lot of stuff on that we've rented that I can't guarantee that the rental companies are going to work with us, or that it's going to be even available that another day they pick. So fortunately, the storm went the other direction, and we were able to get everything up and running, and the storm, wasn't an issue or concern at this point. Although, about 2 hours into the dance, the fire alarm gets pulled, and we had to evacuate, anywhere, I don't even know the final number, it was between 1,200 and 1,600 students, but we had to evacuate them. And we've always built this safety feature into our Show Express shows, that if in the event that we needed to, we have a feature, we have a setting or scene built where every light, every fixture turns to white, and it focuses and lights up the room every corner possible. And we've always had this built in for events like this, that if there was an emergency on the floor, if there was a fire alarm, or any situation that we needed to immediately get control of a situation, we had this built in, and we were able to use this feature. It worked flawlessly. We were able to, inform the students what was happening, and they needed to make their way to the exit. Our MC Elixir did a great job reminding them, do not run, because although we did not know at the time that it was just someone that pulled the fire alarm, we don't want to create panic. We already have a bunch of students that are hyped up from an incredible dance because of this awesome company we have. But we didn't want to, incite a panic where anyone was going to get, trampled or ran over or anything. So we were able to get everybody outside safely. And after the fire department deemed that the room, everything was safe, we came back in and we started the party right back up. But doing so, all this stuff about the fire alarm became a trending topic on Twitter. We made the Snapchat storyboard, and it went viral. Like, we started seeing all the stuff. This one guy posted up, the DJ dropped my mixtape, and it was so hot it set off the fire alarm. I mean, there's so much stuff about the school dance being so awesome that it was so lit that the fire alarm went off. And so Snapchat that weekend did a storyboard for Homecoming, and it was only about like 20-25 slots of photos of pictures of photos available. And out of those 25 spots, probably 8 or 9 of them were from our dance. So it's kind of cool that out of all the schools that were having a homecoming that particular weekend in the U.S., our school, our dance, had, you know, almost half of those available slots. So it was kind of cool. I know it was totally at random, that from my understanding, that the storyboard selection's random, but it was pretty cool because our dance, you know, our hard work, the school and the students, you know, social media push, you know, made it go viral. And it, you know, we had the social media wall, and we saw that it went trending that night too in the area for that particular hashtag. And it was cool. So we get back in, and we rock this second half of the dance. I mean, we just come back in, we hit it hard, and I mean, we just go nonstop until the final song. And I mean, it turned out to be an incredible save to the dance.
Give it up for the camera right now. If you're in the front, I need you to give it up for the camera.